Hey guys and girls, I'm James and welcome to my channel. Today we'll be reviewing the brand new just released Holystone HS340, and what an amazing little drone this is. I am so impressed. I've done a lot of reviews on mini drones before. Holystone really has the market wrapped up on mini drones. If you've seen my reviews on the Holystone HS210, I review this one as the best mini drone you can buy to learn the orientation of a drone on. HS450 is a really good drone with a lot of good features also. But guys, this drone's going to change everything. For 50 grams, it really flew pretty well in the wind. The camera reception is really pretty good. But the amazing thing is the price. And let me put that into perspective. When the 2020 Corvette came out, I sold my other Corvette because I had to have it. But then COVID hit and I decided not to get one, and I'm glad I did because that thing was going to be $80-something thousand. So I bought this little 2002 Miata for $2,500. By the time I fixed it up a little bit, I had about $3,500 in it. So that's 1/20th of the price I was going to have in the new Corvette. Well, I'm driving this Miata and I'm having a blast. I'm having so much fun in this thing, and I know that I'm into it way cheaper than I would have been in the Corvette. Well, that's kind of the way I feel about this thing when I'm flying it. For $55, guys, this thing is a blast. It really is. It turns really well. You know, they came out with the Tello, and this thing cost $100. It came with one battery, but you know, it kind of really turns really slow. And if you just touch something, it falls out of the sky, the battery pops out, you got to put it back in, hook it back up to your Wi-Fi. It does have a good camera on it, but this thing's $100 with one battery. It does not come with the remote. You got to buy the remote separately. That's $40 or $50. Then you got to buy the case, and by the time you got another battery, you're $200 into it. Now guys, you could find a really good deal on a drone for $200. This one's $55, comes with the remote and two batteries, and flies amazing. This could be the drone that some people just want. This is all they want. But this is the best drone to start out, to learn how to fly a drone, to get the orientation of it. And I go over this on all my videos, and we're going to get into the review and how to fly it here in a little bit. But let me explain something. Most people, they go and they buy, you know, a really nice drone because they got on the internet, they read all the tech, and they thought, this is the drone that I want. Well, you know what happens? They go out and fly the drone and they come home with something like this. You know why? Because they don't know the orientation of it. And what I mean by that, this drone is going to fly just like the other ones. It's going to pitch forward and back, it's going to roll left and right, it's going to yaw left and right, and it's going to go up and down. So the controller for this drone, these things move all around just like this to control it. It flies just like the big drone. So if you learn how to fly this drone first with this controller, then you're going to feel really good when you get the big ones in your hand. But really, this drone may be all some people want. So I got the DJI FPV about 3 weeks ago, and I felt like a little kid at Christmas when this thing came in the mail. This is an amazing drone, but with all the things added to it, this thing was $2,300. But I'm having a blast the whole time I fly it. Well, it's the same way with this one. I'm having a blast the whole time I fly this thing, and it's $55. Guys, I've got a lot of drones, and I love flying all of them, but there's something very comforting knowing you have $55 in your hand when you're flying around taking pictures. It's a great way to learn how to fly a drone. So let's dive into some of the features of this drone before we put it up in the air. So the drone comes with an extra set of props, and they're put on by these little bitty screws right here, one screw each, and it comes with a handy dandy screwdriver to do that with. It's going to come with one charging cable that connects to a USB, and actually it came with two, didn't it? And then they plug into the batteries right here, and the light will be red, and after about 10 minutes it'll go off. And this slides into the back of the drone right here. Make sure that's snapped in. And the camera's in the front. I got the prop guards on it now. They just pop in and out real pretty easy. They just slide into these two little holes. So the camera is a fixed camera. It's a 720p, and when you're watching the video through your phone, it's at 25 frames per second. So the remote is the same as the one that came with the HS450. It's the same remote. And so on the top of the remote, this slides in there and snaps in, but before you can do that, it has this little piece that needs to be bent and come out, and you can't get it. So what I did is I took a pair of pliers and I gripped onto it, pushed down the thing, and then slid it out like this. So let's go over the controller. You power it on right here, and you power on the drone by pushing the top button here. You see how it's blinking really fast? Now it's slowed down. What you do is you push up and down on this, and now it quit blinking. And now it is paired with the remote. But to set the gyros on it, you pull down and to the left on both of them. Now it's blinking again and it's ready to fly. This is your takeoff button. When you push that, it'll take off. This is your camera button. You press it once for a picture and hold down to start your video. On the top here, you've got your 3 speeds. It'll start out in slow speed. You push it once, you'll hear 2 beeps, and then it'll go into medium speed. You press it again, and it'll go into its 3rd and fastest speed, which you really need to use if you're flying out in the wind at all. It'll want to drift on you if you're down in the low speeds. This is your flip button. It doesn't work unless the battery is fully charged, but you push the button, and whichever direction you push the controller, it's going to flip in that direction. So there's 2 ways to take off. You can either push down on the takeoff in this button. That also lands it when you want to land it. But if you want an emergency stop, you push on both of these buttons at the same time and it'll stop the rotors and fall out of the air. But you can also, once you get it paired, you can set it in your hand and then you just toss it up in the air and it takes off. So when you're flying the drone, if it seems to be drifting to the left or to the right or forward or back, it needs to set the trim. How you set the trim is you're going to hold down on the takeoff button for 2 seconds, and then you're going to push the direction of the controller the opposite of the way that it's going. So if it's drifting to the left a little bit, what you're going to do is press down on this for 2 seconds and then push this in the opposite direction until you get the altitude hold right where you want it. Also, if you hold down on the speed switch for 3 seconds, it'll go into a high speed rotation, start spinning very fast. And if you hold down on this one for 3 seconds, it'll do large oval rotations in a circle, which would be really cool if you're filming something in the middle. So once you get the bird in the air, if you press down on the right hand controller, you hear that beep and it'll start beeping. That puts it into headless mode. And what that does is whichever direction the drone's pointed, it will go towards the direction that you push it. You'll hear that continuous beeping while it's doing it to let you know it's in headless mode, and you press it again to take it out of it. But don't ever use headless mode. The whole point of learning to fly a beginner drone is to learn the orientation of it to start with. So, and you'll hear that continuing beeping. Here my dog hears it. She wants to go chase it. So let's see where she weighs. She weighs in at 50 grams compared to 83 for the Tello. This Eachine 58 weighs quite a bit more at 93, but it's less than what the Cimarex 300 is at 41, and then the Holystone 450 is 34. So 50 grams for the 340 is about the same amount as 7 Girl Scout Thin Mint cookies. And I keep eating these, but I ain't getting any thinner. So let's go put this up in the air and see how she flies. So what you want to do is turn the drone on. You see the light blinking? Then you go to your Wi-Fi settings on your phone and you look for Holystone FPV. You wait for the light for the check to come on. Now it's checked in, so it's tied into that. So now you go to the app, and it's the HS FPV app. And you open it up, and it takes a minute for the camera to connect, but that's average with all drones. Turn on your remote. Slide your phone in. Then, once your camera comes on, you can see it. Then you'll see the camera come on the drone. You see the clarity of it? It's really good. It's coming in at 25 frames per second. So she's ready to fly. So it's up, down, both down to the left. There we go. So this is it in the spinning mode. When you push the button to the left and hold it down for 3 seconds, it'll spin really fast. It makes me dizzy even watching it. So it's a lot windier out here than it was yesterday when I flew it, but let's see how she does. I mean, you can tell by the pond how windy it is. So on a calm day, it would be a lot funner like it was yesterday, but I forgot I just recorded with the drone. I wasn't really recording with the... So here's some footage I took yesterday from the drone. It was a lot less windy. You can tell by the pond. It looks a lot flatter. This is me trying to be cinematic with it. I mean, the picture's not fantastic, but you know, for a toy drone or a beginner drone being $55, this is pretty amazing. Be a good way to practice with the drone for filming and things like that. And then I landed here trying to be slow, and then I tried to go just a little bit faster on the next flight. But overall, when it's not windy, I mean, you see how good it flies? So I got a full 10 minutes. I think it was 10 minutes and 13 seconds of flight time, and that's with the prop guards on. I'm not going to bore you with the full 10 minutes, but I just kind of wanted to show you me flying it around a little bit. It's a 300 milliamp watt per hour battery. Again, guys, remember this is $55 and you're having a blast, and it's really not even meant to fly outside, I don't think, that much. So right here I slow it down, and the main reason I wanted to slow it down is just so you see I'm smiling when it goes by, because I have a big smile on my face. It's just so much fun. It's hard to believe that they could make something like this for $55. I sure wish they had something like this when I was a kid and we were playing with marbles. So another thing too is always remember to make a pre-start checklist, especially with Wi-Fi drones. And another thing I forgot to mention was to put it in airplane mode, because the outside interference of either getting a text or a phone call. Oh, here I'm doing some flips. But see that? That's a flip. So anyway, make a pre-start checklist. Make sure you're in Wi-Fi. It doesn't matter if you're Wi-Fi in your house. You're just using the Wi-Fi from your phone. It's not using Wi-Fi like internet connectivity. So that's why it's important to put any Wi-Fi drone into airplane mode. Make yourself a pre-start checklist. Check your props every time. Make sure your batteries are charged up. Make sure it's snapped in real good. Make sure you got an opening. Also, remember the controls. Push down both of them. So if that thing started flying towards the water and I tried to make it turn around and the wind was catching it, I'd probably lose it. So, and it did once. It started flying towards the pond when the wind caught it. So I'd push down on both of them, and that kills the motor. You don't want to try to hit the land button when it's getting away from you. You want to push both the top buttons. That kills the motors. Here it is. I'm smiling. All right. I know I'm probably boring you to death, but I just want to get you have an idea of how much fun this is. So thanks so much for watching my review of the Holystone HS340. I can't get over how much I'm pleased with this. And if you're thinking about buying it, don't buy two and give one away, because then people will like you more, because this thing is so much fun. Holystone's always had the best toy drone. Now they've got the best beginner drone. And I wish I'd have started with this drone before I bought this HS700 years ago, because I had to climb a tree so many times to get that out because I didn't do a pre-start checklist. We'll go over that later on about pre-start checklist and all the things that work in the app. This is more of a first-time review. And next I'll be doing the Holystone HS175. So please like and subscribe. I've got a lot of really good content coming up. I'm about 3 weeks into the DJI FPV. This thing goes like 93 miles an hour in acro mode, but I'm not ready for full manual left. I am practicing on the simulator a lot, but I'm having a blast in sport mode. But this thing's intimidating. It really is. This thing is a blast. So if you want to have a blast, go get it. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.